the biggest risk, in your opinion, to sustaining growth on the African continent at current levels?
I've been questioning myself about the topic.
You don't like the topic. It's not a good place to start.
De-risking Africa. Is Africa risky more than any other region in the world?
President Zuma, I have to bring into the debate at this juncture that if we remove South Africa from the equation, that growth rate is pushed up to 6%, not 5.3%. Moving on, Mr. Not good to challenge a moderator in the early stages. Africa has a $2 trillion economy with about a third of its 54 countries seeing annual GDP growth of more than 6%. Of the top 10 fastest growing economies in the world, 6 are in Africa. But I also need to tackle some of the tougher issues. And that, you mentioned oil. You are losing 20% of your oil production in Nigeria daily. That accounts to about 200,000 barrels daily. It points to corruption in the oil sector.
The issue is not corruption. It's quite unfortunate that every negative thing, people find simple answers to it.
If the continent is not stable, nobody is going to want to put their money with us. Is it just the perception fueled by journalists, or is it the reality?
We have reduced the areas of conflict in the continent. It's unlike what it was before.
So broadly speaking, the fourth industrial revolution is about the convergence of man and machine. The African continent has an energy deficit.
First and foremost, we want to make sure that it's universal access to electricity by 2025. With electricity, then you can have industrialization.
But I want you to touch on whether the fourth industrial revolution excites you or terrifies you in the African context.
Let's use our own intelligence to make sure that we manage the artificial intelligence and get the good side of it. I think that's my take.
Welcome to this Powering Africa debate coming to you live from Davos. Mr. Deputy President, I have to take this debate back, sir.
Okay.
This is your and my first experience on stage together. I want it to be a pleasant one, so I'm not being rude by any.
No, you're not being rude, yes.
But Mr. Dangote has signaled that he wants to come in here.
Yes, you are right. There is money in the local, banks.
Yes. To stay in power, you have to provide power.
That's right.
Thank you very much. If you look at solar, the stat is that the prices of solar PV have come down 70% since 2010. Mm-hmm. And was it yesterday that President Trump said he's going to put duties on renewable energies up to 30% specifically on solar? So are we saying here one step forward and 50 steps back?
That won't affect Chad. It won't affect anybody except people in the U.S.
I beg to differ, though.
Okay.
When you say that the decision won't affect Chad, I say that long term, if the current status quo prevails, the biggest economy in the world is creating a trade war, potentially, with renewable energy. And that, for me, is unacceptable.
Well, I disagreed with his position. Could have been handled differently, should have been handled differently. But it's not an utter catastrophe.